Hey everyone, Meet Kevin here with your Stimulus Check Round 2 update for July 23rd. Many updates today, including information on stimulus checks, multiple potential bills coming, the payroll tax cut, unemployment, the PPP. Let's just get right into this. And quick note, many of you have been asking me if in the YouTube course, how to make money from home, I'm also going to show you how to make passive income from the videos that you make with like affiliates or brands and that sort of stuff. The answer is yes. Check out that pre-sale coupon down below. No matter who you are, you can post. It's awesome. All right, let's get into this. Senate Republicans are now dumping and scrapping plans to include a payroll tax cut in their initial offer to Democrats. This is such a slap in the face to the president, who demanded a payroll tax cut for months. Heck, Larry Kudlow has been demanding this, and Larry Kudlow still thinks we're in a perfect V-shaped recovery. Now, though, Senate Republicans are removing the payroll tax cut altogether. Instead, they're opting with a smaller $1 trillion bill, a Phase 4 bill, but because remember, yesterday they were thinking, well, this might be leaning closer to $2 trillion, leaving the door open to future bills. That's right, potentially a Phase 4.5, a Phase 5. Heck, we might be hanging out all year. Now, on a payroll tax cut, Treasury Secretary Mnuchin has confirmed this quote. He said, "It won't be in the base bill." That is, the payroll tax cut will not be in the base bill. This comes right after Donald Trump on Sunday with Chris Wallace insisted that a payroll tax cut be in the bill, and he even suggested he would veto the bill without a payroll tax cut. So what changed? Here it is. The payroll tax cut was too complicated. Yesterday, I reported to you that there were ideas or problems that came up, like, well, the IRS won't be able to do a payroll tax cut until September 1st, which defeats the purpose of quick stimulus. There's this idea floating around that maybe you should apply, and this would only apply to your first $50,000 of income, so that there would be some kind of income restrictions on this. Honestly, it was the messiest idea for stimulus anyway. It gave me so much chest pain that I had to check to make sure my life insurance was still good, which of course you can get in as little as 5 minutes via the link down below. But it wasn't until about 9 a.m. this morning that the payroll tax cut officially got the axe. This makes sense, as a priority for lawmakers has been providing aid very quickly. And this is also leading the president to back down, suggesting, all right, well, maybe we'll do a payroll tax cut in the future. But right now, yes, speed is what's important. After all, why not send checks to people with your name on it right before an election? So that's exactly what they're going to do. Mnuchin said the president's preference is to make sure we send out direct payments quickly so that in August people get more money. We're also now told that Mitch McConnell expects to officially unveil his plan today or tomorrow instead of next week. They're just such flip-floppers. Anyway, the new bill is expected to include $1,200 stimulus checks, some form of unemployment boost, probably between $100 to $200. This is devastatingly low, but also $70 billion for elementary schools and secondary schools. Now, given that this is an election year, obviously, the checks are very popular. Oh, and by the way, a huge thank you to the nearly 6,000 of you who subscribed to this channel right around us hitting 700,000 subscribers. I seriously could not be here if it weren't for you, and I just want to give you a heartfelt thank you so much for your support. All right, let's keep moving on. Mnuchin also confirmed this morning that there would be an additional $16 billion top-off to the $9 billion available still for testing and tracing. This would create a full fund of $25 billion for testing and tracing. Mnuchin then explained that the payroll tax cut is a good policy. However, right now we got to focus on getting money to people now. Also, the payroll tax cut, while it may come up, he alluded to this potentially coming up in like a Phase 5 bill, he realized, finally the government realized this, that it takes too long not only to process the initial payroll tax cut, but you would get it over time. This is actually something that I nailed about 3 to 4 weeks ago. I did the math and realized that, wait a minute, somebody making $10 an hour would have to work 42 weeks before getting the entire payroll tax benefit. That's pretty dumb. Instead, they should just send a check. And finally, that's exactly what the government plans to do. So finally, we have good news because it's been feeling like we've been lost in the Pacific Ocean, sending up signal flares every hour on the hour saying no payroll tax cut, just send us money already. And finally, a plane flew by. We're not quite sure yet if that plane's gonna turn around and finally rescue us, but at least there's a plane in the sky right now. Regarding unemployment pay, there will be tax credits for companies and about a 70% wage replacement. That works out, we did this math yesterday, sort of on the PDF that I showed you, around $100 to $200 as a weekly boost. This is a slap in the face, in my opinion, to a lot of people who are on forced unemployment. Lauren posted, in my opinion, a really good and emotional video on how this affects her as a property manager and especially her tenants. I encourage you to check it out. Also, right now it looks like there will be a second round of PPP funding, with deposits going to companies whose revenues are down about 50% or more. So that way that money is more targeted, and rather than sort of rich accounting or law firms getting all this PPP money when they don't really need it, now it's only being targeted to companies whose revenues are down 50%, presumably for the same quarter compared to last year. Then instead of providing more money to states and local governments, they're going to loosen restrictions that were in the CARES Act that give states and local governments more liberties on how they want to spend the money that's already been allocated. And any of the money that's going to be issued for schools, potentially around half, is very likely going to be tied to schools physically reopening. So in other words, only about half of the money that schools actually might expect to get will go to them if they reopen. And Treasury Secretary Mnuchin again reiterated that this is the information that's being talked about for the current Phase 4 bill. But there may be a second part to this bill later. This package is already being put together with multiple different bills. For example, there's the Kennedy bill, which has to do with the states and local government funding, and then there'll be other bills as well, and they're gonna try to tie this all together with a nice pretty bow, and that'll be called the Phase 4 Stimulus Relief Package. So we'll see what comes up in the weeks after this, whether we're gonna see Phase 4.5 or Phase 5.0. A lot of people originally saw this as, this is it, this is the end, it's Phase 4, and that's the last of the stimulus. But now, because they're up against the clock, they're thinking, let's just get something smaller through right now, and then leave the door open to more stuff in the future. I'm not sure if that's just tough talk to try to get the Democrats to sign off over in the House, but hey, we'll see. So there's your update for this morning. If you appreciate these updates and all of the research that goes into them, please consider subscribing. Folks, check out that YouTube course so you can make videos just like this yourself, or whatever you are interested in, be it stocks or real estate or gaming or whatever. I'll show you all of the secrets that I know about filming for YouTube. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.